Vulnerability is one of the greatest superpowers that we have, but only if you also have this one thing mixed with it. The video before this, I put out a video and the title was Why We Struggle Being Vulnerable in Relationships. And in that video, I ultimately broke down 3 of the biggest reasons why we have a hard time being vulnerable and the negative impacts that that has on the relationships that we want to cultivate, and honestly, just all of the harms that that does to us as a person. If you haven't seen that video yet, I highly recommend watching it because I feel like that is something that you need to watch before watching this one to really get the point. So you can finish this one and go back to that one, or you can stop this, go back to that video, and then come back. Whatever floats your boat, just make sure you watch both of these. So that video sparked a lot of, not debate, but like dialogue and conversation with the clients of mine here at Evolve Ventures. I asked the majority of them to watch the video and to really take notes on it so that we could have a dialogue about what I had shared, what their experiences were with that, and how they experienced vulnerability in their lives and in their relationships. And there was a common theme that I noticed come up over and over and over again that I felt was absolutely necessary to make another video about so that I could share this other really vital and critical point. I also want to say that this is something that I have had to navigate through and something that I have had to learn, and I'm still in the process of learning in my own therapy and in my own healing and growth journey. Vulnerability is an amazing and extraordinary tool that we all have. It allows for us to develop better, healthier, deeper relationships with the people who matter to us. But there is a critical element that most people miss and that I have missed for a really long time. Vulnerability without the understanding of your own worth and where you tie your worth is going to derive and is going to lead to massive pain. What happens with most of us is that we say, okay, I'm gonna be vulnerable. And then we're vulnerable, right? But we have this idea in our mind and we have this expectation that it's only worth it if the person responds the way that I want them to. And if they don't, then it means something bad about us. I'm not good enough. They didn't respond the way that I wanted them to. I'm never going to be loved. This is always going to happen to me, so on and so forth. I'm not speaking at all from experience, by the way. I've never once said these things. I've never once had these thoughts. I literally had this thought last week. It's freaking brutal because when we're vulnerable and when we are risking ourselves, it's like, oh, please meet me where I am to make this vulnerability worth it, because it's only worth it if the person responds the way that I want them to, the way that I need them to. Vulnerability is only worth it if I get a certain kind of reaction or response for it. And that is where so many people are getting the shit kicked out of them, for lack of a better phrase. It is biting them in the ass, because vulnerability, as obnoxious as this is to say, and believe me, I feel pissed off saying it myself because my own therapist said this to me and I wanted to punch her. It's not about the reaction of the other person. Vulnerability honestly has nothing to do with the other person, and it has everything to do with you. with your growth, with you trying to become a greater version of yourself. That ultimately is why we engage in vulnerability. It's for us. It's for you. It's for me to become a better version of ourselves. And that really has nothing to do with the other person. It has to do, and what it really comes down to is what we tie our own semblance of worth to. The grand majority of people tie their worth to the way that other people think about them, the reactions that other people have to them, the way other people feel about them. And you're basically a beggar with your cup out for the entirety of your life saying, validate me, give me worth, make my life have meaning, give me purpose because I don't have it in here. So I need you to do it. And that screws up all of our relationships. Because a relationship is not there to make you whole. It is to help you become more of who you already are, which means you have to be full or full enough before entering into it. Now, again, this isn't to say you have to be completely healed before you get into a relationship, because there's literally no such thing. But what I am saying is you have to have done some semblance of work on yourself. You have to know where your worth comes from, who you are, what you want, what you bring to the table. And when it comes to vulnerability, because you can't have a relationship without vulnerability, you have to be able to recognize that the efforts that you put into your vulnerability are only about you. Because think about it. If you risk your heart, right? Let's say that you really care about someone and you don't know how they feel about you. Now, again, this is not saying that someone's treating you terribly and you just keep doing it. That's delulu. We don't preach that here. And again, not speaking from experience or anything. I didn't literally share a story like that in the last video. Ridiculous. Anyways, if you are in a relationship with someone, or you are trying to build a relationship with somebody, or there's a job that you want, or there's whatever, right? Whatever the context is, pick a context. Whatever that thing is for you, what do you get by risking? What do you get by putting your heart out there, by making that effort? You get all of the benefit, regardless of outcome. So let's say you're going for a job promotion and you do all the prep work, you look at other jobs in the area, you look at what your resume says, you look at the market, and you realize, oh my God, I actually could get paid more because look at all of my roles, look at my responsibilities, look at everything that I'm doing. And the market is paying people more than what my job is paying me. Right off the bat, you already gained so much because of the research you put into doing that. So now you've cultivated a skill. Then you have to practice going to your boss and saying, hey, here's everything that I'm doing. Here's all the value that I add. Here's what the market is saying. Here's what I'm getting paid. Here's what I'm requesting. How can we make that work? Look at all of the skills, all of the benefits. Look at everything that you gained, even before the outcome of what happened. Look at everything that you did and everything that you became and how much you grew just from you taking on this challenge, putting yourself out there, being vulnerable. You already gained so much. But when all we tie our semblance of worth to is the outcome, we are ultimately saying that nothing that I do matters, and the only thing that mattered is what some other person outside of me that I have zero control over says or thinks or does. That's kind of insane. That's kind of insane. Some person outside of you that you have absolutely no control over is going to dictate whether you're good enough or not. In theory and cognitively, it makes perfect sense, right? You're like, yeah, no shit, that's stupid. But emotionally, it feels so true. Because it's like, well, if I was good enough, this would happen. If I was good enough, I would have been loved. If I was good enough, I would have had this outcome. Not necessarily. There's some people in my life who, no exaggeration, they are sincerely the most extraordinary people I've ever met. Some of the best people I've ever met. And they have been treated worse than almost anyone I know. Isn't that an interesting paradox? Some of the best people I've ever met have been treated the worst I've ever heard of. It's because your worth has nothing to do with the outcomes that you get, and it has nothing to do with the way other people treat you. Other people are going to treat you the way that they are experiencing you, the way that they are experiencing their own world. It has nothing to do with you. But when you're tying your worth only to somebody else, then you'll never feel whole. And then you will never risk vulnerability. And the interesting thing is, when you start tying your sense of worth to your inputs, and then you risk vulnerability, you'll actually start to feel more worthy. It's an interesting conundrum. It's an interesting paradox. And I've seen it with almost all of my clients. The ones who let themselves risk it end up feeling more vulnerable, because what they end up tying their worth to is the effort. It's them. It's who they are. And then the even more interesting thing is they end up getting the outcomes that they want eventually, because the one who is willing to risk more always ends up getting more in the end. It's the paradox of life. So if you do not tie your worth to the right thing, you will never allow yourself to be vulnerable. You'll never get the benefits of vulnerability, and then you'll never end up getting the things in life that you want. It sucks. I get it. I wish it worked out better. I wish people could just see how special we are. I wish we all could just have these like little laser goggles and be able to do like a scan. And it's like, oh, this quality, this, boom, boom, boom. And we just see how amazing each other are. But it doesn't work that way, because we see the world through our own lens, through all of our own bullshit. And that's how we experience the world, and that's how we experience each other. So you cannot tie your worth to the way that somebody else thinks or feels or treats you, because it has nothing to do with you. Now, that's not to say if you're acting poorly and someone responds back to you that has nothing to do with you. That's not what I'm saying. We have to take accountability for ourselves. But if you are doing everything that you can, you put your heart out there, you are doing everything, and someone else will look at what you say, someone you trust, like a therapist or something, looks at your actions and says, yeah, honestly, there's probably not much else that you could do. And someone still doesn't give you the thing that you want, then how does it have anything to do with you? It has to do with them. And why are they so important that they get to determine your worth? Why are they so important that they get to decide how you feel about you? That's a lot that you're giving to another person who probably hasn't even earned it, let's be honest. So, your worth has to be tied to the effort that you put in, to your character, to who you are. And trust that if you do that, and if you risk vulnerability intelligently and in the right ways, it will pay off. Not immediately, but eventually. And that I can say from experience, because I have experienced it. It sucks when you're doing it, and you will be so unbelievably glad that you did. Eventually. If this resonated with you, if this is something that you feel deeply connected to, Send me a DM on Instagram. Let me know how this resonated, or drop a comment down below. And like I said, if this video is resonating with you, make sure you go watch the other one too. So it's number 74. It's the one before this. That way you get the full benefit of, okay, now how do you be vulnerable when you're actually ready to do it? Super grateful that you watched this. I'm grateful that you're going to watch the other one. Like I said, send me a DM. I would love to chat with you. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.